Hi Linda G, how are you? Vegan Travellers here. Nice to chat to you guys. I'm just going to fix my screen a wee minute. Basically, what I was going to do, Vegan Traveller is going to be coming on. I hope you all can hear me properly to start with. But what's actually going to be happening is we're going to come on, a Vegan Traveller guest, and we're going to chat away about the kind of carry on that's been going with the Order 66 and things. So there's been quite a bit going on in the background. So hopefully we can get that sorted out and basically discuss what's kind of went on. And so if Traveller's ready, I'll guess them if you are ready, Traveller. So anybody, I'll guess Traveller in just now. Hopefully he's ready. Hi there, how's things?
Hey, good, Tommy. It's really good. Thank you.
No
And I think
problem.
this is the first time I've actually been over on your broadcast.
Yeah, it is, yeah.
So cool. It's like 1:30 in the morning here. So I had a nice I was on for like 7 hours plus my last broadcast. It was a pretty good one. It was really good, actually.
Right, yeah.
The broadcast has been going really well, actually. Like this year's been really good. So pretty pleased with that.
That's brilliant.
And coming with a whole new attitude, it's I'm pleased.
That's what it's all about. It's about trying to put all this kind of crap that's been going on in the last year behind us and things and doing what's right for the movement. But like I said, the 66 thing, they've basically, I think in a lot of ways, they've infiltrated the community and they're preying on people's emotions and things like that. And there's a lot of females out there that's absolutely terrified for them. And to put you in the picture, what's been going on with me lately, that they've been sending me like obviously crazy things on Twitter. At the end of the day, that's just stupid things. Vegan cheating and others have said is just as dafter things. It's water off a duck's back now. I'm used to all these trolling comments, but I can't definitely say he's connected to the things that's been happening with my wife. But the very same emails that Blue Ren was getting about his children getting raped with a hot poker, my wife had the very same emails from anonymous people. She had to delete an email account and it's been reported to the police. And this is what I want to say to people. Rather
Mhm.
than giving them any space and anything online saying to them, calling them out and things like that, don't deal with that. If you get anything like this, we should be dealing with authorities with it because this is where it's going. I mean, I hope it wasn't them, and I'm not saying it definitely was, but like I say, it's maybe somebody just using their kind of mentality and the same kind of tactics they use to basically threaten me and my wife and such like. I don't give a shit about myself. I really don't because I'm used to all this trolling and things like that. But when they start attacking my friends and especially my wife, it's a different matter. And I don't know. Like I say, I know Congasm was on with you yesterday, and I don't know what you're thinking about all the carry on and things. Obviously, the way your family and that was attacked in the past and things.
I'm not giving Congasm a pass on anything. Trust me. Congasm's been hanging around my audience in my chat for a while, and he's been kind of saying all the right things. So I gave him a chance. My audience was wanting him, and he was very like honest about what was going on with the whole Order 66 thing. So that's why you were in the audience. We were having some technical difficulties. I couldn't get your questions because he was in the mood to answer questions. You know what I mean? So like
Mm.
I thought it'd be good for you to actually talk to him because Congasm, like, whatever, he's not gonna like hurt you. And this is what I want to tell like a lot of like the people. I want to tell you and these others like they're scary. They're little bullies, and I've dealt with them last year, and I got triggered, and I like freaked out. Now I know. I know who they are. I know their names. I know where they live. I know where they work. You know what I mean? Like they don't scare me, right? This is not real. Now, take threats seriously, and we should take threats seriously. Okay? Look, did you see my latest video? These guys
It's
are
I
they're
know
threatening.
I totally agree with what Jude's saying there though. Why would you ever promote him in a guest? Don't be fooled. Keep giving them air. It's true enough because I really don't. I know he was probably saying the right things on camera and things like that, but is this really his mentality, or is it another way of trying to fool people? And I really think probably we just don't know because people like that in the past. I mean, making over things about people committing suicide, threatening rape on people's kids and things like that. I mean, you say people can change, and I know you're the kind of person that you're the same as myself. You like to see the good people, but that's next level stuff. You know what I mean? It really, really is.
I agree. I agree, and I'm not trying to give Congasm any kind of like exposure. I'm not trying to apologize for him. I'm not like trying to get views out of him. You know what I mean? This is just one of those things. He was answering questions. I'm going to let him answer some questions. And, he was saying the right things. That doesn't mean I'm going to fucking believe everything he says. You know what I mean? Not going to think, no. But he had some answers. And we'll see where he goes with that. And I know you're a forgiving person. It basically, this is what I wanted to tell you. Don't let these guys freak you out too much.
I totally agree with that. Yeah, but it's kind of like Jude saying there. You forgave Kangas but no others. But I mean,
I forgive everybody. I forgive everybody. Well, it doesn't mean I'm gonna fucking forget.
Yeah, well, I mean, look at the situation. I'm going to play devil's advocate here. I mean, you're my friend, John's my friend, but I mean, look at the situation with John and things. Yeah, he's been driven away from Younow. Jessica's been driven away from Younow, all because of these guys, because they stood up for people that were too scared to actually stand up for him. John lost friends because of it, because people in the background were saying, look, I can be your friend in the background, but I can't be your friend online because I don't want my family attacked. But you've still got this grudge with John and things and others, and that you're guessing that somebody like Congasm. So I mean, I can kind of see that situation you're in.
The only thing that these guys can do is be a pain in your ass. You know what I mean? You don't give them the power to anything more than that. They can come around and shit on your social media. They can say nasty things on your YouTube channel. They can say nasty things on your Twitter. You know what I mean? They can be rude and disgusting. They can make threats, idle threats. They're not going to actually come and hurt you. They're not going to touch you or your wife. They're not. I can guarantee this. Okay?
I know that, but there's plenty of people out there, and just to put you an example, my friend, I'm not going to mention her name, but you probably know who she is, my best friend. She's scared because her nieces are there and she's worried that they'll get attacked and things like that. And it's like Jude says there, John suffered the most, and I know he has because he's suffering a lot of emotional issues. He's, you name it, because of this thing, because he was the kind of person, he wanted to defend himself, but he realised that defending himself was hurting all the kind of people that he was friends with and that he cared about so much, and he stepped away from it. So that shows you the kind of person John is. I mean, I know he's got his good, his bad points. Everybody has, and I don't agree with everything he says. He doesn't agree with everything I say. I don't. We can all agree to disagree, but that's the kind of person he is. I mean, he stepped away for the sake of everybody else, and it's true enough. This is what they're doing. It's a divide and conquer tactic. It really, really is.
Well, let me make it clear here, because I'm reading the comments. Right, saying that they won't come after someone doesn't make the acts right. I'm not saying that they're. I'm not excusing them. I'm just trying to help Tommy feel better. So and everyone else is under attack. I don't want you to have fucking anxiety attacks and shit. You know what I mean? I'm not saying, I'm not saying it's not serious what they're doing. I'm not trying to poo-poo it and say it's no big deal. It is a big deal. What I'm saying is don't let them fucking make you feel anxious. Don't let them make you feel sick. Don't make them feel that you can't be online. That's what I'm saying. All right? What they're doing is bullshit.
Yeah,
I got hit hard by these fuckers. And I've learned lessons. And I care about Tommy, and I'm trying to help him through this right now. You know what I mean? I'm not fucking apologizing. I give a fuck less about Order 66. Fuck them. Fuck them. All right? I'm here to help tell Tommy, you know what I mean? Don't let them win by getting fucking, anxious and getting. The best way really is to starve them from any kind of fucking attention. This is how you deal with narcissists and sociopaths.
Well,
You know what I mean?
that's when you're saying that there. I totally agree with everything you said, but you just said that you want to starve them attention, but that means no guesting them at all. I mean, don't guess them at all. That's really it.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing, right? And that's the first time I ever had him on my broadcast. All right. And again, it's not like giving him attention. I guess I am, but like, you know what I mean? He was answering questions. And so that's really where I was going with that. And I called him out too. He wants to associate with these people, then he's guilty by association. So that's where I'm coming from. I'm not Congasm's friend. I'm not fucking apologizing for him. I'm not excusing him. But he's not the worst one. The weasel's the really like the sick, demented one. You know what I mean? The weasel's the one who's really sick and demented. Okay? And so this is the thing. And I want to help people here too understand what's going on with the sociopaths and the psychopaths and the narcissism here. And this just goes all throughout the fucking internet and the Younow and the vegan online community. So this is where we have to protect ourselves. And people are saying, yeah, well, you can. The one danger that they do have is they can dox us, right? And they do this. Look, you guys say, oh, I doxed Snitch. I never gave out Snitch's private information. I put out that fucking arrest record, but it was all redacted. There was no real personal information in that. There was nothing anyone could get to fucking get information on Snitch. Okay? Now, what they were doing to me last year was putting out my real name, my employers' names, my fucking family's names. They were like encouraging people to call my employers and harass them and try to get me fired from my job and shit. All right, so they'll learn lessons. You guys can hate on me. I know you guys, and I didn't dox his real name. Snitch put his name out there several times. I didn't even call him Snitch. I would always call him the Facebook group guy, right? So let's get real. I'm here trying to help you guys. You can be attacking me. I'm not the enemy here. I'm trying to help. So let's get real. Quit attacking me and listen for a moment, okay? And learn, all right? And this is one thing that even Snitch a long time ago, and a lot of you guys, a lot of my fucking detractors, you guys should actually listen to me. If Martin would have listened to me all those months ago, his channel wouldn't be suspended right now, right? I tried to help him, even though he didn't understand this. Now I'm trying to help you. You guys can like hate on me and criticize me. I'm trying to help you. Now, just a little bit of advice that I gave Tommy, I think maybe actually made him feel a little bit better. Now I'm going to tell you guys right now how to protect ourselves. Okay? Now, Tommy was in the Facebook group, and we had whatever issue we want to say about the Facebook group, there were so many people in that Facebook group, me included, Tommy included, Joe Vegan, Vegan Last. We all had our real names in that Facebook group, didn't we, Tommy? We used our real fucking accounts, not our online names. We used our real fucking names. All right?
Well,
and that put us in jeopardy.
I'm going to address that about the Facebook group right off the bat, because I've never addressed this. I'm going to tell you my story, why I actually left the Facebook group. I was in it for like 4 days, right? And the only reason I left it was because my dear friend Jessica Australia, who you know only too well, she was bullied by a few people. None of these people in the chat, these are dear friends, and I love everyone so much. Jude, Shorty, everybody. This was people. It's actually related to Order 66 just now. This one of these girls, she's gone with Weasel, as you well know. She was one of them that was bullying Jessica. I left because Jessica got bullied. Nothing like that. There was nothing sinister going on in that Facebook group at all, in my opinion. For what I seen, it really was just like recipes and that. I know people say all this crap about things going on in there and things like that. Personally, I never seen that happen. Maybe I can't say it did and it didn't happen. But when I was there, that wasn't happening. No, but you were probably in there longer than I was, or at a different time or whatever. But that's what happened in my opinion. That's why I left.
But this is the thing. And this is the thing. Like my point is that we had our real names on there. Okay, we had our real names on there, and this is what put us in danger. Okay, because maybe not even just in the Facebook group, but like people in the Facebook group, not everybody was, like not everybody in the Facebook group, and not everyone in Younow, not everyone in our audiences are good people. Okay, so we put ourselves at risk. So this is what I'm saying is that like in our social media, we need to tighten it up and not give them any way that they can attack us. See, this is where Martin Lewis is really good, right? Because his real identity is really like secure. Nobody really knows his real identity. Order 66 couldn't fucking really attack him. All they could do was make stupid videos about him. You know what I mean? Lying bullshit videos. They couldn't really threaten him. What are they going to do? Go to Thailand and find him? They couldn't find. They don't know who he is. You know what I'm saying? So this is the lessons we need to learn. Okay? So the number one lesson, they're really not going to fucking like physically attack you or your loved ones. Okay? And if they make threats on the internet, there's really nothing that can be done about it, unfortunately. Okay? Trust me, I went to the sheriff's department. I've talked to attorneys. You know what I mean? There's a certain point where, yeah, like it could be criminal harassment, but generally, like if it's online bullying, like it doesn't count. They don't count it real. So like it doesn't count. And I've talked to like my spiritual advisor, like when I was getting under attack, and he said, look, these people, don't worry about it until they're at your door. You know what I mean? Like then worry about it. Like don't be a victim of their fucking idle threats. You know what I'm saying? They're not going to fucking attack you. They're not going to physically attack you. They're not going to harm you or your loved ones. Okay? Trust me, this is not going to happen. The only thing like they can do is, they can cause trouble in your social media, which is a pain in the ass, but it is what it is. Or like they could dox your information, that kind of bullshit, try to get you fired from your job. That's what they have. So that's where we have to protect ourselves. So we have to tighten up our shit, tighten up our social media, and then, don't put so much, and it's hard because we like to share with our friends and, you know what I mean, and share and let people know about our lives, but we have to be a little bit more tight. And these are the lessons that I've been learning over the last year dealing with, asshole psychopaths like Order 66.
So how do you suggest that we actually go about tightening things up like that? I mean, what's the kind of way forward?
Well, the Facebook pages, maybe like tighten up the circles on those. Have one for your personal friends and family, the ones that you really know, and business associates, and then have one Tofu Tommy, Vegan Traveler, Judalicious, you know what I mean? Have a Facebook page of that, so like they don't know where you live. Don't put too much information about where you live. They can find up, and people are fucking calling my mom's house and shit. You know what I mean? It's just it wasn't that hard to find the information. They knew my real name. They knew, you know what I mean? Boom, boom, it's all there. And, and a lot of the stuff is, before I was on social media, I didn't give a fuck and nobody cared. You know what I mean? I was like, okay, yeah, I'm a socialist company. You know what I mean? Like, I was proud of my work. You know what I mean? And then they use that. They'll find any little thing that they can find to use against you. So we have to tighten it up, and you know what I mean? Try it as best you can. Keep your private stuff private and tighten that circle. If there's people that you don't really know that well, you know what I mean? Cut them. And sometimes if it's really bad, if you're really getting attacked hard, you might have to just start all over. Close it and just start a new one just for your real like friends, family, and business associates. Have a Tofu Tommy one. Nobody knows. They don't know where you live. They don't know what your employment. They don't know. There's no way to find out. You know what I mean? So that's the kind of thing that we need to do and protect ourselves. Otherwise, I mean, and there's other things that you really could do that, at another level, if you have an attorney or something. I mean, that's getting a little bit more extreme. If it's really that bad, you know what I mean? But attorneys are like $500, $600, $700, $800 an hour. It's you know what I mean? It's extreme.
Jude's asking a question there. Will you apologise for the complete harassment of John VT by you?
Jude Alicious, you act like, see, listen, you think I harassed him? You don't think he harassed me? You have, I mean, it's so one-sided. And this is where, like, I can't stand this kind of thing where it gets so one-sided. You know what I mean? You think that John's a perfect angel. You know, he made a bunch of videos that were lies, straight up pure lies. Right? He had this video up about me and Marissa for like 2 weeks. You know, I'm sorry. I was never with Marissa, never wanted to be with Marissa. You know what I mean? God, can you imagine? No. No. Then, you know, he made up so many bullshit lies. I don't even want to fucking go back. I don't want to rehash. This is not about Snitch. All right? This is a whole new thing. Snitch is not even in the picture right now.
See, I was going to touch upon as well that there's another thing going on. I'm not going to mention this person's name because my friend and Jessica me and Jessica were actually going to put out a video, and then we decided not to because there's been a lot of bullying going on online, basically against females, stalking and things like that. Obviously, Belle Vegan, you've probably heard all of this, the kind of stalking thing going on. And this person's been basically using his kind of disability as a way to do what he wants and threatening to kill himself and things like that. And I've stuck up for this person so much in the past, and I respect him so much, and I hope he gets the mental help that he really needs. But he's actually admitted to me and a few others, Jessica as well, and Peaches, and you name it, that Order 66 actually has put him up to this, and he's doing basically this because he's Ghost's his friend and things like that. And I'm kind of wondering, because are they using like people like that and basically saying, oh, you can use your disability as any way as a get out, because we all the top courts in the world, they use this get out criminal insanity to do what you want and do what you want. And he's actually, whether it's a joke or it's not, he's actually said to Peaches and he said to Jessica that he's actually killed someone in the past. I mean, it's maybe a joke and it's maybe not, but it's a kind of sick thing to say, and I just hope that isn't true, but he has actually said this, and this is the kind of things that's going on in the background. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, I had like a little bit of an issue with that. And, you know, Peaches had an issue with me because I sent her a Skype message, just said, this irresponsible what you're doing. You know what I mean? Like, I felt that they were kind of like taking advantage of a disturbed person. You know what I mean? And it was a huge audience. And so she don't like it. She caused some shit, said, oh, you're harassing me. We're cool now. She wants to collaborate with me. You know, it's funny. But the thing with Ruben was not funny. I was disturbed by that, and I thought that maybe like not everything should be dealt with in public. There's no reason why she couldn't be like, you know, having private conversations or like a closed group kind of conversation. You know what I mean? That kind of thing I didn't think had to be done in public. And this kind of thing where it's like you're giving people attention, the wrong kind of attention. And in a way I'm guilty of it too. You know what I mean? Like the guy supposedly tried to hurt himself, and you know I brought him on my show. Not that he jumped in the guest queue, but it wasn't like I was talking to him about hurting himself or you know what I mean. It was, I don't know. You might know a little bit more about this kind of stuff than I do. You know, personality disorders. I don't even know what his issue is. You know, I really don't. You probably know him better than I do. But these kinds of things I don't think should be playing out in public forums. I don't think that's the place to do it.
No, well, I say, he was one of my closest friends, and obviously he was with Jessica as well. He's got high-level autism. But I think in some ways, I mean, I've got dear friends that actually stay in my community, and they're really close friends. I've got high-level autism, and they're, as you know only too well, the high-level autism, when they focus on a particular thing, they're very high achievers. They're more clever than me and you put together. And I think in some ways, it's basically, it's in a way of using things to basically do anything that you basically want, kind of thing. Like it's a get out clause. Like he's saying there's things no right in his head and things like that, which I can agree with. We've all got mental issues. I mean, I've got wiring issues in my brain as well. But like I say, that doesn't mean that because you suffer with any mental illness, it gives you the right to kind of do these things. And I see, I just don't know. I mean, but I feel that it's a lot of the way is basically the kind of wheezy and things have been kind of using them to do these things and saying to him, look, you do this, you do that. And I hope I'm wrong, but that's basically what he's been saying to everybody in the background, that they've kind of encouraged him to do this. And but he says, oh, this was a month ago and such likes, and I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think this is really the place for him. I mean, there is a place on Younow for like autistic people. There was an autistic girl that was like she came on once or twice on #vegan. I can't remember her name, but she was really super sweet and super nice, and people were nice to her. You know what I mean? People weren't taking advantage of her. I hadn't seen her in a long. I haven't seen her in a long time. But someone like Ruben, I think this is not the. There is a place for autistic people. There could be a #autism or whatever. I think someone like Ruben maybe needs an advocate. He needs you know what I mean? He needs somebody like a caseworker kind of, you know what I mean? A psychologist, somebody to really monitor him and help him and talk him through this kind of stuff. And if he's going to go live and connect with other autistic people or something like that, or, you know what I mean? He needs to have some kind of like, what's the word? He needs to have some kind of monitoring. It's too, you know what I mean? Because he'll do stuff like try to stab himself to get attention. Who knows what he'll do to get attention? You know what I mean? Yeah,
But
that's just where I'm coming from on that.
but like I say, autistic people, they're really, really clever people. They really, really are. I mean, I know plenty of them, and like I say, that's why I say, like, I, nobody should say that he's disabled or anything like that. He isn't disabled. He's very, very able, and they really, really are. They're great people, and I say they're cleverer than me and you. I mean, they really, really are. But that's why I don't understand some of the things that he's doing, because it's not the kind of people that they are. Like I say, they're very high functioning people, and it's it just doesn't relate to me that what's going on.
But there might be something more than just autism with him, or it might be a little more severe than like other people,
Could be
right? Like the girl that was broadcasting before in #vegan. You know what I mean? She wouldn't be out trying to hurt herself. You know, like she was really sweet and really nice, and yeah, and she was really vegan. She seemed like she would not be out here trying to, yeah. And anybody like that, I think I don't know his situation. I don't know if he lives alone or if he's in a group home or like, or with family. I can't remember that girl's name. Venus. I can't remember her name. She was only on a couple times, but she was really sweet.
I'm not sure, to be honest.
So yeah, with Ruben, I don't know the situation so much, but I think that he's really jonesing for attention. He's desperate for attention, and I think maybe if he had like an advocate that could like visit with him and give him some attention that he needs. These are fucking sharks in this community. You know what I mean? Like, internet are just ruthless fucking sharks. They'll eat you alive. If you have like mental disability like that and just or just will triggered to like hurt yourself for attention, that's like this is not the place. You need positive attention, not psychopaths and narcissists, right? Sociopaths. This is not what you need.
That's why I always say that. I mean, there's a lot of lies even online try to claim that last year and things they said to me that I was trying to commit suicide and things like that. I'm like, that is absolute nonsense, and you know that only too well. I never tried to commit suicide. I simply had a bad relapse for a few days of my eating disorder, which is basically happens in moments of stress, and I would never commit suicide. Like I say, trolling and all that crap, it just goes all over my head now. Like I say, I laugh at it because you see these things in the playground every day when you were back at school. It's absolutely nonsense. I'm 37 years old, you know what I mean? I'm not a stupid wee boy. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, you have a totally different situation, and you're going through this recovery, and we're all learning, how to deal with this kind of stress. You know what I mean? It gets so stressed. And so this year, one of my resolutions is that I'm not going to be triggered. I'm not going to get triggered. So, you know what I mean? These psychopaths, threaten to kill me. I'm not getting triggered. I'm not getting crazy and freaked out. You know what I mean? I'm almost really like laughing about it at this point. I had that psycho was on my show today, Ghostface. He was on a fucking troll account. You know what I mean? And so I put him right up there, and he was the one that got triggered. You know what I mean? And I'm sitting there laughing at him. So these people.
That's what I was going to say as well. You just don't know, because they've got that many troll accounts. I've even heard that they've got up to about 200 troll accounts. You just don't know who's in your chat and if it's their part of it or what's going on. You don't know. You know what I mean?
You're right. You're right. And so you have to be careful. You know what I mean? And this is what it is. And if you're going to be a public personality, just imagine what people like real celebrities, what they have to deal with.
Exactly. So what's your kind of goals for this year? What you want to kind of do on your channel, and obviously your Younow streams and your kind of personal life with what's going on? And
I'm really excited about what's going on in my life right now. Actually, I'm working on some really great projects, just doing like some really amazing things. Just trying to really just do more. You know what I mean? And that goes with the YouTube channel, and like those guys on Order 66, they like bullied me so hard that you know what I mean. I just like gave up on the YouTube channel. So it totally destroyed my YouTube channel. And so now it's kind of starting to come back. So the first video was just like, you know what I mean? Like calling them out on their bullshit, trying to threaten me. So I was like, all right, you assholes, here you go. You know what I mean? So I'm back. Here's a little video. You guys want to give me more fucking thing? I can make like 10 videos about these assholes just being like sick psychopaths. You know what I mean? And it's easy to produce, and it'll get some views, and it'll like expose them for what they are. You know what I mean? Just fucking petulant little children. That were picked on as kids and got whatever rejected by girls, and they're like, you know what I mean? They're compensating for something. And in some ways it's sad and pathetic, like grown men doing that, like you get drunk. First you get all wasted on live stream, drunk and high and on pills and who knows what else. And then getting all triggered and saying you're going to kill somebody. And when they were saying what you were saying about like, you were saying something about like a curling iron or something like that. Like that's like the Weasel said something about that, like on my video. If you saw the video when he was on live, so like when you said that, I was like, obviously Weasel is the one with the curling iron fetish, and that's kind of a sick. This is like almost like Saw, like these or Hostel. You know what I mean? People like that probably do watch these kind of fucking sick, twisted horror flicks, the fucking slasher things, and just get some kind of twisted, perverted, like, pleasure out of it. Just, it's just, I just don't understand these kinds of people. Other than...
They're really, really weak people that say that they need to do this online, because if you were to come up to somebody in real life and say these things or try to do these things, you'd be one or two things. You'd be dragged outside and get your ass kicked in, or you'd be chucked in prison. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I know you're from Scotland. I've heard Glasgow is like tough. It's like a kind of a tough city, and right. So if someone acts tough like that in Glasgow, yeah, they're probably not going to get out of Glasgow.
Exactly. I'm actually doing quite a lot at the moment. Let's say I'm actually part of the Save Movement Scotland. Like we do a lot of like vigils at slaughterhouses and things like that, and we do quite a lot. We basically try and kind of show the kind of cruelty going on to the animals. Next month, actually, I've got a talk with James Aspey. He's coming over from Australia. We're doing a big conference with him, and we're going to a vigil and such likes. And yesterday, actually, I was asked to join a new Facebook group. It's called Charities-B-eat. I'm actually going to discuss this tomorrow. It's basically it's like a 3 week, like 22 days. It's like a transition for people that want to come to veganism. Basically, I'm joined as a mentor, and basically I'll be assigned a couple of people, and I can help them transition through to veganism over the 22 days. But
Did you already? Did you already? Did you already join the group?
Yeah, I have. Yeah.
Okay. All right, because that's what I was thinking. Like, oh, Tommy, maybe you know what I mean. Like, start the Tofu Tommy Facebook page. You know what I mean. If you're gonna join Facebook groups, and this is the thing, like, you know, one of the lessons I learned from that Facebook group, we were only both in it for a few days, is that yeah, you know what I mean. Don't join a Facebook group or under your real name, because then the people have access to your real name, your friends, your your location, your employment, you know what I mean. So these are the kinds of things we need to start thinking about for this year, and then next year they're not going to be able to attack you because they're not going to know anything about you.
Well, see, that this Facebook group is run by real vegan activists that I can 100% trust. So I know only too well that this is a closed network, and it's basically to help people that obviously to transition to the vegan lifestyle and that. So it's close knit, it's secret. They can only let people join that want to obviously be there for the right reasons. And basically, I'll never be sharing with them anything about my kind of who I am or such likes. I'll just be kind of helping people, obviously, the questions they'll have about problems, about maybe they'll say I'm struggling with such and such, the vegan lifestyle, what can you recommend, and things like that.
No, that's cool. I mean, I would like to do that kind of thing too. I've been vegan for 8 years. You know what I
Exactly.
mean? So like, sometimes newbies will come to my broadcast. They'll find my broadcast sometimes, and I can give a look. But it would be, I don't know. Most of my audience either is like, well, of course, there's a fucking ton of trolls. You know what I mean? So you'll have like, say if we have 50 people in an audience, you'll have like, 15 trolls. You know what I mean? Then you'll have like 10 that like aren't even vegan. You know what I mean? Then you'll have like a couple of vegans, a couple of transition, a couple of like, you know what I mean? Like it's just a weird mix. I don't know, but I would, but even like, so if I am, if I am broadcasting to vegans, a lot of them already know what it is to be vegan. I don't know. I'm still trying to find a place and see where I'm going with things, and like I don't know. But I would like to have more of a grown-up broadcast and not just be like living in the sewer all the time.
I
I
know.
mean, there's a time to expose and take out the trash. You know what I mean? Which I do, like I've been doing with this Order 66 crowd, kind of taking out the trash the last few days. But there's also I've been getting some actually kind of cool people in the audience that like want to talk about issues. You know what I mean? Like Protein and Peaches made this video about, we talked about this on our podcast. She made this video about that dog that was in the movie, right? That got really freaked out. They're trying to do the stunt with the dog. You've probably seen this. And so she made a really cool video about that. And so a lot of things. So like a lot of things this actually brought up was, it brought up this issue, right, about exploiting animals in the movie business and things like that, which movie business is kind of like important to me. You know what I mean? And then it gave me an excuse to like promote her, channel, and promote her videos, and like so we can kind of work together and help. And this is really what I've always wanted to do from the beginning. You know what I mean? Was just fucking network and support. You know what I mean? And that kind of thing, like help each other, support each other, let's raise each other up. Somehow it just gets like so convoluted, and it just got so much, like so much far off the track, and it got so hateful.
Exactly.
So
That's
this
what I
year,
was going to say. Instead of it being about the benefit of veganism and for the animals, it rather became about building what some people's own social standing and their subscribers and their views, and we get caught up in the shit drama and things like that, and that just can't happen. everybody was at fault in some ways. I think we all get dragged into the drama in some way or other.
Yeah, that's true. That's totally true. And
I
I
totally
could have
agree
just
with Danny's saying there as well. It says not all Facebook groups are that, and like she says, proud nut milk, and that it's true enough. Like I say, there's this hashtag going about that if you're part of the nut milk crew, you're some kind of evil shit. And like I say, that I know only too well. I'm part of the. I openly say I'm part of the nut milk crew, and every one of them they are like a family, and they'll stick up for you no matter what, and that's what they're like. They're lovely, lovely people when you know them in the background, and that really, really is true. And I mean, there's this kind of shit that goes about on here about them being this, that, and the next thing, and they're not like that at all. And
well, that's one thing I do respect about that. You guys are pretty like solid. You guys do have each other's backs. But like, I want you guys to know, and Tommy, you know this too. Like, I'm not a bad person. You know what I
no,
mean? You guys really like a lot of you people act like I'm just this really terrible monster. You know what I mean? I'm not a bad person, and I care about the vegan community very much so, very much so. And I really believe passionately about the power, in people's lives, and the environmental impact and impact on the animals and the people that have to work in the in the animal slaughter industry, the meat industry. It's terrible for the workers, it's terrible for the environment, it's terrible for the people that consume the products, terrible for taxpayers that have to pay the bills, the medical bills. It's terrible on so many levels. I mean, we all know this. You know what I mean? Environment, you kids that have to live by fucking chicken farms, got to put up with all the arsenic, and you know what I mean. If you live by a pig farm, it's horrible. It's terrible. It's just it's nasty. It's like right. So like I'm passionate about that. You know what I mean? And I've been doing this a long time. So you guys should give me a little bit of credit. And honestly, like I've been right about a lot of things.
I was actually
You want me
thinking
to?
one thing that we need to start doing is kind of getting out and maybe speaking to the bigger vegan companies that actually have vegan products and try to get them to, even if we can start promoting them online or getting them to try and promote them on national TV and things like that to kind of go a bit more mainstream and things, because I know probably it's going to be a hard task because you've got the meat and the dairy industries and such like they can conglomerate on the TV and things like that. But this is one thing that we should really need to be trying to doing is kind of start promoting it more and kind of get speaking to them and kind of networking and try to grow it some more.
Yeah, I mean lobbying, so to speak. It's things like say a company like Ben and Jerry. It had they came out with a almond milk variety, right? Why do they even need the dairy? You know what I mean? Like it's so last century. Like we don't need it. And Shorty V and all these guys, like here me and Tommy are talking about some serious issues, and you guys want to talk Facebook group shit. You know what I mean? Like, really, I mean, come on, get over it. Do you really want to talk about background checks and files? And I mean, how much did I fucking talk about that? Did I not say enough about that? I mean, I think I've said all that I need to say about that. It's been said, it's been done. Now, like, we can collaborate, and Tommy and I are trying to collaborate, and we're trying to do this. And trust me, I've been through some tough, you know what I mean? Like, when I first started, like, first time I was ever on Vegan Cheetah's program, it was like this with people, like, giving all these negative comments, but there were 600 people. 600 were in the audience, right? And I had just started, like, you know what I mean? It's so much different now. You know what I mean? Like, so much different now. So you guys can accept me for who I am. I'm not going anywhere. I'm in this community. You know what I mean? And you guys can work with me, or you can continue, you know what I mean, like worrying about files and background checks from last year.
So I was going to ask you as well, what's your kind of thoughts on obviously the vegan cheetahs kind of umbrella veganism, basically making it open to everybody? Like I say, I like that idea. Like I say, I like the idea that he's trying to make it open to everybody, but the kind of basically the kind of assumption that he's saying that he can eat meat 3 days a week and still be vegan and things like that. I just feel that's shitting in veganism so much. But I like the idea, like I say, somebody coming to veganism, if they can do a meatless Monday, they can do a few meatless days a week or whatever's helpful to them to fully transition to a vegan lifestyle. But I feel you can't be 50% vegan. It's like cutting a tree in half. Like I say, you can't take one and save the animals at the same time by being 50% vegan.
Right, right, and I agree. And like from my perspective, there's there's like this vegan online community, and this is where the umbrella is. Okay, so people that come to my broadcast, they're not all vegan. You know what I mean? But they're welcome to come along, and they're welcome to like guest and be part of the community. So like there's a personality here. The name is Baby Toad. I'm sure you've seen her on some of these chats, right?
Yeah,
So she's guested on my show, and she was really fantastic. She's a part of the community, but she's not vegan, right? So she can be part of this community. She can be under this umbrella, so to speak, right? But you can't say she's vegan. You know what
exactly.
right? So the people that want to transition, there's so many like names you can give it. You know what I mean? So you want to be part of that vegan online community, then there's room for meat eaters, there's room for transitionary, you know what I mean? There's room for lacto-ovos, for pescatarian, you know what I mean? There's so many different subgroups,
Like
you know what I mean?
pescatarian, vegan curious, all this
Yes,
crap, man.
right. All the way to raw and you know what I mean? Like all the way down. So there's room under that umbrella for everybody. But yeah, let's not get it twisted. Like vegan is vegan. We know what it is. You're not consuming animal products. That's plain and simple. So yeah, I mean, some people just want to associate with vegans. You know what I mean? And they can't quite go all the way there. If you're really, you know what I mean? If you're really trying, then yeah, I'll give you some credit. You know what I mean? And then but it gets weird. You know what I mean? Someone like Olga had like I was talking to her, so she's been vegan for like 10 years or more, and
Right?
she had a fucking piece of cake that had eggs in it. And you say, okay, well, you're not vegan anymore, because you had some Christmas cake. it's
That's
it's
what I
it's
say.
right.
You,
There's some
you,
gray
you,
areas there.
yeah, but it's like I always say that it depends what you're definite. A lot of people say, "Oh, I'm 100% vegan," but like I say, that depends what your definition of veganism is. Because to be 100% vegan, you would need to live basically in the moon. Even then, it would be questionable because, like I say, at the moment there's animal products in your paint in your walls, there's animal products in your car tires, the pavement you walk on, your LCD screens. You can only do what you can, and for me, my definition of veganism is just doing as much as you possibly can to limit the suffering and cruelty to the animals every day, and the food that you eat, the clothes that you wear, the products that you buy. That's being vegan.
I, like in UK, do you guys have that little circle with the V on the products that's like certified vegan?
Exactly.
So that's kind of important, you know what I mean? Because a lot of the stuff that we eat is not certified vegan. I mean, that I would like to see more. That's rare in America. You don't see them on many products. But that means, there's none of these byproducts, there's none of these weird like food additives and that kind of, you know what I mean? So that's something that like hopefully will expand, in the future. But just weird things. So it's like you don't wear leather shoes, right? But they don't tell you there could be like glue somewhere, you know what I mean, that has animal, you know what I mean? So it's not certified vegan. And how would you know? You know what I
Exactly.
mean? So
Actually talking about this, this is a thing I get sent to maybe one of my friends in the Facebook group yesterday. It was saying to me, another day, another vegan accolade. It looks like Glasgow is running away with it in the meat-free stakes. With Furled Vegan Month kicking off in November there, ZZ has identified the top 10 cities in the UK, and Glasgow is the second from top. That means we are the most vegan-friendly city in Scotland, rivaled only by Britain across the UK, and that includes London. According to the restaurant chain, 28% of its Glasgow customers are vegan, compared to just 14% in London and 13% in Edinburgh. Brighton takes the cruelty-free cake at 42%. You know, it's amazing.
Yeah, and in America, it's getting a lot more accessible too. Getting a lot more people. Like 5 years ago, I would have to explain what vegan is. Now
Exactly.
people know what it is. It's becoming more mainstream. It's becoming out there in the public consciousness.
Even
And
in Google Trends at the moment, I searched a thing yesterday, and it says from December the 10th right through to right now, veganism in a worldwide scale actually went from 60% right up to over 100%. That's like a 40% increase in just a month. So you know, in that, obviously you've probably got a lot of people maybe using it as a way, obviously, to lose that excess weight and such crap, as you know that they do over the Christmas period and that. But that really shows that there's a kind of maybe a wee kind of shift in things actually moving forward as well, which is great to see.
it's encouraging. It's encouraging. And America is behind, but America is catching up in a lot of ways. 10 years ago, you could walk into like a supermarket and there would be no vegan like dairy options or non-dairy options.
Yeah,
Now you can go to almost any supermarket in the entire country, right? And you're not just going to have soy milk, but you'll have almond milk and other choices. And the bigger supermarkets will have dozens of choices. So we went from like really in the last 10, really like the last 20 years, you went from like zero choices to just dozens of choices. So, and then you have the explosion of Whole Foods and other places like that, co-ops and things like that. So America is actually, in a lot of ways, America is like ahead of the curve, especially California,
oh
especially
yeah.
really the whole West Coast. So if you're in the West Coast, it's really progressive. If you're some of the other Midwest and the South, it's still a little bit lacking.
I see it in the supermarkets over here. I mean, only about a year ago, you were really, really hard to find any kind of vegan options. You would maybe find like a vegetarian option, but like I say, most had egg whites and such like in it. But now you get in there and there's like 2 or 3 dedicated aisles, all vegan, nothing but vegan options. It's been booming so much.
Oh, at the supermarkets in Oregon, in the West Pacific Northwest here, the supermarkets have an entire aisle of bulk foods. The supermarkets will have like entire health food stores inside.
Yep.
So yeah, so America is not quite what some people might think. America, in a lot of ways, is super progressive, especially on the West Coast. Oh yeah, hit like a girl's from Oregon. That's right.
I actually got an email just yesterday from a restaurant owner called in Mono. It's called in Glasgow. He's actually wanted me to do an interview with him on Younow, speaking about his vegan restaurant and how he can grow it in Glasgow to basically make it kind of go mainstream. So I think that will be amazing. He's going to come on and he's going to show some of his recipes. I'm cooking away while I'm speaking to him and that. It'd be great. I mean, I feel that's something that you would really be great at doing, kind of something like that as well.
Yeah, that's awesome. And let's see, it says, I don't think vegan is big here in New Zealand. I mean, we are known for beef and lamb. Yeah, and yeah, there's all the sheep too. I noticed. I spent 3 months living in New Zealand. Is one of the most fantastic times of my life. I loved it there. But yeah, it wasn't. The thing with that, a lot of the stuff, the food's all imported, and yeah, they do have this dairy industry. That's a huge industry there, and the
That,
wool industry. It's hard to change when you have hundreds of years of tradition. It's sad, but you go to Auckland. Auckland is a very progressive city. It's very modern. They just don't have quite like America is so rich in resources, you know. So we're blessed here. Um, New Zealand hopefully will catch it. New Zealand does have a very intelligent, population. So hopefully it'll catch on soon. And Australia it's really blowing up. How many people do we have in this community from Australia? It's huge.
Exactly. Mm.
And Durian Ryder and Freely really did a lot to step that up for us.
Danny Christie's asking there, is it true there's a bridge in Scotland that dogs jump off of? Well, actually, Danny, it's called the Clyde Bridge, but not only do dogs jump off it, it's actually known as the Suicide Bridge because a lot of people actually jump off it. Actually, it's quite an area.
Mm. So I'm really actually encouraged of where the veganism is going. And
Definitely.
it's just like everything else. The world is getting smaller, and the technology, and it just keeps advancing. And there's the information that's key. So much information, and look how popular the vegan thing is online right now. It's huge and just getting huger.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, when you think of it, I mean, Scotland's probably what you would never expect has been a vegan country because we've obviously got the Highland cattle and things like that. And basically, our country's bred towards meat eating, but they don't really understand that we've got tons and tons of vegans. I mean, they say that there's only like 2% of the UK that's actually vegan, but I would question that because I feel that there's tons of restaurants. There's Glasgow, Edinburgh's absolutely full of them, and you've got vegan festivals popping up constantly. Every single week there's vegan festivals, and they're chock a block. It's great to see.
Yeah, and vegan is starting to be kind of like a cool thing. It's trendy.
You're even seeing it like a lot of young kids in that now. There's a lot of young kids actually started up their YouTube channels, like 10-year-old in that, and they're vegan and that. It's
Really?
amazing. It's unbelievable.
Oh, I haven't seen that. That's awesome.
There's a few online that's the vegan kids they're called, and you've got vegan youth as well, and there's quite a few others, and there's even quite a few Scottish ones that I know that have actually started up their YouTube channels. It's brilliant.
That's encouraging.
Definitely.
And I've seen some young people that have always been vegan. And there's Alicia Silverstone, right? You know who that is? The actress?
The actress, yeah.
Right. So she was greatly criticized because she was vegan during her pregnancy. Now this is good because this is somebody that's in the public eye, and so people have been watching this. So I think the child is probably about 5 years old by now. And so, you know what I mean? This has all been documented now. You know what I mean? This really rich, famous, high profile person, and the child, has gone all the way through life so far.
Exactly.
And this is wonderful. And so there hasn't been that many vegan children that they have been studied in this kind of thing. But, for what little information that do we have about this, the vegan kids, have fewer sicknesses, fewer ear infections, fewer, colds and flus. And I'm encouraged by that too. So hopefully we have a whole new generation of vegan kids who will be vegan since birth.
Danny's asking, doesn't she puke food into her kid's mouth?
Yeah, you're right. She got criticism for that too. Right. She probably doesn't still do that, but before the baby had teeth, yeah, I think she did do that. Right.
So, do you see quite a lot of kind of vegan actors that you obviously work with? Is it something that's quite big in there? What's it kind of like?
Yes, there's a lot of that. I wish there were more. The thing is about with the movie industry, the stars, it's like you have a handful of stars, you have a handful of cast, you have 10 times more crew. truck
exactly.
drivers and hairstylists, and a lot of them are, just like working guys, the electrical workers, the, set builders, the carpenters, these guys, they're not all worried about, you know
You
what I
forget
mean?
that there's thousands of them really in it. It's a massive network. You forget all the
Yes,
people in the background as well.
right. So it's not just, actors who live in Hollywood or live in Los Angeles and go to the vegan restaurants and or have private chefs, and it's not quite like that. And most of the work I do is in the South. So you have this different kind of mentality, different kind of cuisine, different like culture. Everything's, they want fried food, they want meaty food, they want barbecue, and yeah, it's not as great as you'd think, but
It's
it's getting better. And I've worked with some,
I
some
suppose
of
as
them.
well, it depends obviously on what the kind of goal is for the movie role. Like if they want to get muscular, want to put on weight and such like, so obviously the kind of diet will obviously be catered towards that kind of thing. So
And very few are actually open about their diets. Very few people do. There was one actor I worked with last year. His name's Lorenz Tate. He's African American. He's huge in the African American community. Not so much like outside, but he was like in Boys in the Hood and other things. But he's a cool dude. We got along. We were like about the same kind of size. We were the same age. But he was like completely vegan. He didn't even know I was vegan. Like, he was saying, "Okay, well, what could I have that's vegan?" And he was vegan and gluten free,
that's
right? And so
brilliant.
all his whole entourage too, they were all like, they were all like that. So that was really, really cool. And someone like Christian Bale, who I worked with on a movie last year. So this is where it's weird because people like this, I don't know, like, he supposedly he's been vegetarian like really his entire life. So, but he's told reporters that whatever he's eating a steak just out of like just whatever, out of just a whim or something.
Yeah,
So it's hard to know if he's just bullshitting the reporters because he can or because he doesn't want people to know too much about him, or like. So same thing with Brad Pitt. So I worked with Brad Pitt on a movie, and I really thought Brad Pitt and I were going to be like buddies because supposedly he's vegan. That's like the kind of like the urban legend online. If you ask, because I actually one time I put in Google, I said, "Is Brad Pitt?" And then like the predictive algorithm is like comes up and says, "Is Brad Pitt vegan?" Right?
right.
So like I didn't even type it in. I just put, "Is Brad Pitt?" And it says, "Is Brad Pitt vegan?" So I was like, "Holy shit, he is vegan!" Right? But like so supposedly Brad Pitt's vegan and lives in New Orleans. So like shit, I live in New Orleans. I'm vegan. It's like, wow, we're gonna be buddies. You know what I mean? But like never quite happened. He was hardly on set at all. And I heard rumors about that. I don't know. There's a YouTuber named Gary High Fruit Lifestyle. You know who that is? Have you?
Yeah, yeah, I know him. That yeah,
Right. You know who that is? I love his videos. Um, but he did a video about that. I don't know if you've seen it, about Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie's divorce. This was a great video, and he was saying that like the
it's happened. Yeah, it's happened. Yeah, disconnected for some reason. Lost connection there. It just disappeared. Bring him back on. The connection dropped for some reason. Connecting. It's connecting. What's going on here? Yeah, exactly. Silly computer. I don't know what's going on here. It's the connection dropped, and then it says you're disconnected, and then it says and we're back, and then suddenly nothing.
All right, I can see you, Tommy.
We're back. I
All
don't know
right,
what
good.
happened there. You were speaking, and then suddenly it come up in the thing that says your broadcast is disconnected. Suddenly the screen froze, and then suddenly it disappeared, and it says and we're back, and then you disappear. So anyway, continue on.
Yeah, whenever the computer refreshes, it always drops your
Right.
guest.
Yeah.
So right, but Gary High Fruit Lifestyle. I don't know if you saw that video that he did about Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie's divorce. Did you see that? It's a great video. It's one of his best.
I haven't seen that one, no.
Oh yeah, check it out. It's a cool video. He made this like maybe like a month ago or something like that. And Gary, he doesn't get enough credit. You know what I mean? He
Yeah,
made a
he's
video
hilarious.
recently, like basically, I quit. You guys don't appreciate this great content. But I've been following for years. I love his stuff. But anyway, he made a video. It's called Gary High Fruit Lifestyle is the name of his channel. But he made this video where he was basically saying that Brad Pitt is vegan, and I've heard this before, that he actually can't stand to watch people eat meat, right? It grosses him out. And Angelina Jolie was vegan at one time. It may actually have like influenced him to become vegan, but once they started having kids, she quit and she didn't want the kids to be vegan. And so this is where like supposedly the divorce is coming from this, like how they're raising the kids. And he wants the kids to be vegan and she doesn't want the kids to be anywhere around like veganism. Right.
Exactly.
So this supposedly is like like the contentious issue in their marriage.
That's one thing. It's a hot topic. A lot of people say that you shouldn't raise your kids and things like that. But there's a lot of actual proof that it does work as long as you do the proper research and things like that. I mean, you've obviously got people. I don't know if you've ever watched the Vegan Geezer. He's in the UK. He's one of the kind of big YouTubers. He's got his little boy on it. He's Jojo. His name is. He does a lot of videos with him, basically taking him around shops. Like they'll give him, let's say, £100 in money, and they'll say to him, "You go in and pick the foods you want." He comes out with the melons, the grapes, everything. He eats his tofu, his rice. It proves that kids can thrive in a vegan lifestyle if they're properly shown the right way of doing it. And I feel that's where a lot of people go wrong. They're maybe vegan for a bit, a few months or whatever, and we know what it's like. And then they have a kid, and then they try and put their kid vegan. They've not done enough research. They don't know enough about it. That's where they go wrong, in my opinion.
Yeah, it with internet, it's a lot easier now. When you're transitioning, you can really have you can have your you can eat your same diet really.
Exactly.
So you can
Everything you
have
could
mac and
get.
cheese.
Exactly.
You Google vegan mac and cheese recipe, and you'll get like 5 million, uh, pages coming up. You know what I mean? So it's so much easier now. It's so
That's
much
it.
easier.
It's absolutely booming.
And other choices. There's vegan convenience foods. There's all these little, vegan chicken nuggets or, little ground beef or so even if you're not a good cook, it's not that difficult. Even like canned foods, you can find these little organic cans of lentil soup and things. It's so much
That,
better, so much easier.
there was another thing that I was actually sent yesterday, and it says 10 signs that veganism is actually taken off, and it says, but obviously the vegan fake meats, it says it's the people at Impossible Foods, it says, have actually been extracting a substance called heme from plants, which makes their burgers sizzle and taste like actual real meat. And it's
Hmm.
actually talking, it's amazing. They're even talking about vegan fashion things. It says companies like Watch company Watch, Matt and Nat are beyond skin and making it vogue to opt for a vegan leather and such like. It's just amazing. They're actually getting things that's actually all the animal products that taste like it. They're even talking about they could actually make meat bleed and such like so, it's vegan. I think that's a bit kind of scary, but I suppose if that's what kind of people like they obviously like their steaks rare and things like that, maybe that will kind of attract to them. I don't know. What's your kind of idea about these? Obviously, these vegan burgers. Obviously, they're talking about. I don't know if you ever seen that meat they're talking about. That actually can get a like a machine that can culture it in your house and things like that. I don't know about. What's your kind of idea about that?
Yeah, last year there was this talk about what did they call that stuff? Was it called
Oh,
was that like super meat or something like that? What was
super meat. That was it. Yeah,
right? That's yeah, that was weird, and that was just not something I really like supported. You know, some
no,
vegans were saying it's good because the animals don't have to die. You know, and then I was, which is good, but then I was at this, you know, that's a little too like bizarre, a little too weird, a little too anti-natural or unnatural.
yeah. In my opinion, like I say, it's probably good for somebody that's not vegan, but for somebody that isn't vegan, you've got to say where's the ethicalness in that because they're taking stem cells away from the chickens and things like that. You can't tell me that there's no any harm or cruelty involved in that because there still is. The animals are being exploited still for that. So that's in no way vegan. It's no something that as me as a vegan or probably you or anybody else would ever partake it. And certainly I wouldn't. You wouldn't either.
No, no, I wouldn't eat. I wouldn't eat. No, no. It's like I'm
So
so far beyond that. So yeah, yeah, I'm so far beyond. After 8 years, there's no possible way.
I know.
There's no
So
possible way.
it's been great speaking to you. And that I've got a couple of minutes before I need to wrap up and obviously get my wife up and things like that. And if there's any you want to kind of close off with and things like that, please let us away. Any questions or anything?
Okay, well, yeah, I just want to thank you for bringing me on here and giving me this opportunity. And I hope that some of the critics in your audience can move past, you know, beyond. And I know you guys really care about Snitch a lot, and I can understand it, and I can see that. But you know, just I'm trying to move forward in 2017, and I'm glad that you wanted to bring me on and collaborate. And
Definitely.
I'm down to
We definitely
collaborate, and
definitely need to do it
and
again. Definitely.
yeah, yeah, totally. So I'm not the enemy. The enemies are like these people in the pharmaceutical companies, the you know the oil companies, the meat and dairy industries. You know,
Exactly.
let's save it for that. Let's pick on those people. You know what I mean? I'm really like your natural ally.
Exactly. If we want to make veganism great again, let's say, word peace doesn't just start in the battlefields; it starts in each and every one of our hearts, and we're the only people that can move it forward. And that means we need to put all the kind of personal drama aside. Like I say, it's true as they say. It's okay to basically argue a dilemma, like I say, a point in veganism and things, but it should never become personal. Shouldn't be attacking each other and such like. We want to make. We're all here for the same reason, and that's veganism, saving the animals, showing help your health, the planet, and only we can do that. And we're basically the sum of the people that we are on here, and the kind of message we put out is what people are coming here to see, and that's what it's all about.
You know, and I reached out earlier this week to Martin Lewis. You know, after he got his channel suspended.
Shocking, it really,
So
really
like,
was.
you know, let's like just to hold on to hate is just you're just hurting yourself. So, and you know, I totally like, you know, Martin and I don't have to be best friends, and we don't have to collaborate or anything like that. You know what I'm saying? But we don't need to hate each other. We don't need to be enemies either.
Exactly. So it's been great speaking to you, and I'll
Yeah.
just go off now and, sending you my best wishes, and thanks for very much for coming on.
Okay, well, let's do it again, Tommy.
No bother. Speak to you soon.
Bye, everyone.
So, guys, thanks very much for that. I hope that kind of cleared things up and spoke about the Order 66, everything else, and obviously try to get as much information and put that out there and things, and sending you all my love, every single one of you BBC family, Nut Milk crew, love yous all, and remember as always, binge on life, purge negativity, and start guilty feelings, and I'll speak to you all soon.